John Kerry signed the UN Arms Treaty, the Arms Trade Treaty, which had worked its way through the UN. And so looks like we're going to have this go before the Senate, where it faces a very rocky road. And many conservatives and many NRA-backed politicians are not happy about this. They're up in arms, I guess you could say. So for those of you who do not follow the day-to-day workings of the UN, let's give you a description of what the Arms Trade Treaty actually does. The ATT, I should say, aims to set standards for all cross-border transfers of conventional weapons ranging from small firearms all the way up to main battle tanks and attack helicopters. In addition, it would create binding requirements for states to review cross-border contracts to ensure that weapons will not be used in human rights abuses, terrorism, violations of humanitarian law, or organized crime. And so it runs the entire gamut from pistols all the way up to Hellfire missile firing helicopters and main battle tanks and things of that sort. So very wide range there, although the opposition to it in America is mostly focused on the smaller range. But there's a point to it. And it's not just that we don't need more weapons in some of these extremely unstable parts of the world. It's that they're used to kill their own citizens in some countries with dictatorships. They're used to eventually be sold to organized crime. Sometimes they can be stolen and used in acts of terrorism and things of that sort. Like this, we need to do something to control all of this, and there are way too many weapons out there. I saw one estimate that said that about 500,000 people are killed in armed violence attacks every single year. We should probably do something about that. So John Kerry signed it. That comes after the UN General Assembly passed it. Now, it was approved 154-3. And in terms of the countries that did not vote at all, there are some notable entrants in that list. So Russia, China, India, and 20 other countries abstained from it. Now, look, of course, Russia, China, India, very large, relatively well-off, very well-armed countries, and so of course we would love for them to approve the treaty as well. Now, some of the arms control groups around the world believe that if the U.S. would actually pass it, that would put additional pressure on these states to do the same. And hopefully that is what will happen. But we'll see. We certainly have a lot of influence in this area, since estimates put the total amount of weapons that we trade as a country at about 80% of the total amount of weapons traded globally. And so we have a big part to play in this process, I think. Now, before we get to the criticism of it, John Kerry did defend this treaty, saying, "This is about keeping weapons out of the hands of terrorists and rogue actors. This is about reducing the risk of international transfers of conventional arms that will be used to carry out the world's worst crimes. This is about keeping Americans safe and keeping America strong." Now, getting in front of some of the criticism of it, he says, "This treaty will not diminish anyone's freedom. In fact, the treaty recognizes the freedom of both individuals and states to obtain, possess, and use arms for legitimate purposes." And that's where we have the opposition in the United States. You will not be surprised to find out that the NRA is not happy about this. Why? Because they believe it will lead to registration lists and an inability to sell weapons on the secondary market and things of that sort. Now, is there any actual evidence that it will do this? No. Everybody involved in the construction and passing of this bill, or this treaty, I should say, internationally, say that it does respect the rights of individual countries. It does not get into what citizens can own what assault rifles and things of that sort. Now, there are some verification methods for when these weapons are transferred to other countries, but you're still going to have your Second Amendment rights. And it's extremely unfortunate that countries like, say, Congo, other areas with a huge amount of ongoing violence might suffer because this treaty might not go into effect because some people are worried that they can't add a 7th rifle to their arsenal. I think that that's kind of crazy. So good job by John Kerry. It will now go to the United States Senate, and we'll see what happens from there.